Hello and welcome to MFS in the Hub. I'm Ross the Boss, and yes, we have Casey Scheinfeld here. Casey Flagelbone Scheinfeld. I know it's not baseball season, but we still call him that because it's just a clicky
It
thing.
just
Like it's
fits,
saying,
man. It just
it just
fits.
makes sense, right, Case?
Yeah,
So a lot of injuries happen. I mean, broken wrist for Mr. Rogers, but he said he might play because it's on the non-throwing hand. So there you go. Um,
crazy.
some other crazy injuries have happened. Casey, why don't you catch us up real quick?
Well, the Falcons, I think they're losing their quarterback Penix for the season,
Yep, and
as
that
from what
means
I heard.
guess Cousins is back in. He's has a job in the NFL
He
again.
does.
Kirk
Josh
Cousins.
Jacobs exited with an injury, and they expect Emmanuel Wilson to start this week.
Yep,
Um, there's just, Drake London could miss an extended period of time.
Drake London's out for a while, which
So
is got Atlanta went to this team which you and I both thought they would have a good season. To like, they're just horrible. I mean, they really are.
they're
Their
so
defense.
inconsistent. I mean,
Oh, I mean, their defense is bad. Now they lost one of their two best offensive players,
yeah,
and Bijan, they don't utilize right. You know what I mean? He doesn't get enough handoffs. He shares time too much with Tyler Elgers, and it's just a mess in Atlanta. And whoever gets that Atlanta job next has a lot of building to do. That's all I got to say. And if you go to Green Bay, I mean, high expectations, but they've been losing games too. I mean, Jordan Love is not as great as everybody thought he was. Christian Watson's not getting the ball. I mean, they have some big, big mistakes happening in that team, and they got to fix it kind of quick.
yeah.
I mean, when is Reed coming back? I think that's the big mishap in Green Bay, Casey, is Reed.
It certainly could be.
I mean,
All
it's
right.
just I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
But
How's this
let's.
for a question? Galaxy Pickers. Should he trade CeeDee Lamb for Jackson Smith Najigba and Woody Marks?
What do you think, Case? I mean, Jackson.
I'm a no, um,
Ooh, ooh.
because look, I think JSN is right now arguably a top 3 or 4 wide receiver in the league.
Okay.
But we've seen what Sam Darnold did this weekend, and we've seen what Sam Darnold has done at the end of the season last year too. And man, I worry about that and them just relying on that run game. Whereas we know Dak's going to throw the ball, and no CD. I mean, Pickens takes away some of the ceiling for CD Lamb, but CD Lamb still had 60 yards and a touchdown last
63
week
yards and a touchdown,
when it was taken away from him. So
he was benched. They benched both him and Pickens the first series because of disciplinary reasons in Dallas, and they
yeah,
still
so
got huge yards.
it depends who your other running backs are. Obviously, if you're desperate at running back, it does make a little bit of sense because at least JSN is the target monster. But man, after the way Sam Darnold finished the season with the Vikings and then the way it went last week for him, he had 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whereas CeeDee Lamb, when he's healthy, produces no matter what. He's never going to have a dud. But
I mean, Dak Prescott had his best game of the year yesterday with 4 touchdowns and 260 yards. He's just going to get better. They're going to throw
it's
the ball.
Certainly an interesting offer, though.
I like that offer, but yeah, I would keep. I'm on the same page as you. Let's talk waiver wire, Casey. Who's your number one waiver wire pickup for this week?
Oh, number one this week has to be Emmanuel Wilson, your cover boy. If Josh Jacobs is out, you're getting a high volume running back on a good team for the stretch run going into the playoffs. I don't know how long Josh Jacobs is
I
supposed
have
to
an
be out.
update on that if you want to hear it real quick.
Go ahead. What is it?
So Jacobs could play this week. We'll know more on Friday. If he's in the walkthrough in the practice, he'll play. If he doesn't practice on Friday, he won't play. So you got to keep track. Well, we should know by Friday afternoon if he's playing or not. It's 50-50. I wish I had better info. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, and that affects whether he's the top pickup or not. If Jacobs is going to play, then Emmanuel Wilson is going to be the number 2.
Where's Emmanuel? I always want to say Emmanuel Lewis. Don't laugh at me, but he's the actor, Emmanuel Lewis.
What you talking about? No, that's
Gary Coleman. But Emmanuel Lewis was that other African American short actor.
Webster.
There you go. Good memory.
Then it probably shifts to Michael Wilson.
But the fact about him is every game, 7 games in a row, he's had a reception during the game. So if he plays, he'll probably have 4 or 5 receptions in the game if he plays the whole game. He loves to catch the ball out of the backfield. So that being said, just all those proposition bettors should know that.
All right, so he said he has wow, that's a heck of a backfield. Jonathan Taylor, Quinshon Judkins, Woody Marks, and R.J. Harvey. Smart drafting. I mean, look, if you in your heart believe JSN is going to be stronger than CD for the next 5 weeks, then I think you make that trade, because right now you have 4 number 1 running backs in your backfield, and it's certainly a place to trade from. I mean, look who's struggling at running back, obviously, in your team, and who's fighting in your league, who's fighting for a playoff spot and might need a running back, and then, pluck their best player in a 2-for-1 trade where you give him one of your running backs and then a lesser player at the position that you want to take from him. I mean, wide receiver or whatever it is.
JSN's been 100 yards every game with a touchdown.
What did he have last week?
100-something yards again against the Rams, who have a really good defense.
Even with the 5 interceptions? 4 interceptions?
Exactly.
Yeah. Then maybe it's not the worst idea then.
Press accept. Press it.
But I'm such a CeeDee Lamb fan that I have a hard time.
I know you do. But
Dak Prescott spreads it all over the field. I know
knowing how strong you're at running back, I think it makes your wide receivers stronger, and I think I would do that trade, yes. Yeah. Especially for the playoffs, because Seattle's going to have to win some games. They don't have to throw the ball a lot. They won't be benching him until fourth quarter, 17th week of the season. So yes, I would accept that. Casey, so your number 1 is Emmanuel Lewis. I'm kidding. Emmanuel Wilson. Who else do you like? I mean, there's a few receivers. I still think Christian Watson is still available in a lot of leagues. I like him, even though he didn't get the ball that much last week.
No, he's dynamic and he's big. It's just a question of whether he stays healthy. How about Michael Wilson, though?
Michael Wilson,
what did he have, 15 catches for 185 yards?
With Jacoby Brissett as your starting quarterback now in Arizona, he really likes Wilson. He throws the ball a lot better than Murray. I like the quarterback switch. I even like Brissett as a starter. He ever since he's been starting, his stats are good. Their defense stinks. They don't win games, but he has a lot of yards. And the script really helps him a lot, because if they're behind, he has to throw. So Brissett, fantasy-wise, is another guy that you should consider. This depends on who Arizona is playing. But if you look at his stats and what he's doing, he's up there in the top 5 in the past few weeks. I mean, he's really, really good. How about the game? How about the game the quarterback for Carolina had?
I know, 400 some odd yards and 4 touchdowns or whatever it was. Bryce Young had a career high, a career night. Well, and Ted McMillan was everything for him.
Yeah, rookie from Arizona. Bryce is unbelievable that last week. I mean, you and I never saw that coming. I mean, if you're a proposition player, the over-under on his yards was 190, and he threw for 490 or whatever it is, 48, whatever he threw for. I mean, you have to consider him as like a fantasy starting quarterback now, would you say, or would you just lay off right now?
I think he's a super flex starter. Absolutely. I don't know about a 1 QB league yet. All right. How much fab are you dropping for Wilson? I guess it depends on how desperate I am at wide receiver right now, and how much money I have left. I mean, we're at week 12. There's only 4 weeks left of the season, including the playoffs, probably a lot for many of you, or 5 weeks. So I wouldn't hang on to much of my fab budget at this point, because who else are you going to pick up later in the year? You don't know if there's going to be another stud. So I'm probably using the majority of it. If at this point in the season, you can't take it with you if you have a lot left, or, $1 more than the next closest guy you think has left, if you have the most left. Next week's week 13. Week 14 starts the playoffs for everybody. So
playoffs.
if you can get this guy and he's going to help you in the playoffs, then I would use most of it.
100% right. I mean, the worst feeling is the season's over and you have like $90 left in your budget. It's like, what even sleepwalking? What are you doing? At least go out there and try to get one big player every season, especially if it's a dynasty league. You know what I mean? So important to spend that money. Casey, who else in the running back department that anybody else that we're missing waiver wire wise that's under 50%, let's say?
Well, look, Jalen Warren left week 11 with an ankle injury. So Kenneth Gainwell's only 42% rostered. He's got to be a consideration because A, he's a big part of the passing game there in Pittsburgh, and B, he's probably the number one running back right now. So he would be one. And then I like Sean Tucker in Tampa Bay, but I'm really worried that Bucky Irving's going to be back this week. He started practicing before the last game. And so I think 2 weeks of practice and he's probably going to take that job.
I was going to talk to you about that, Sean Johnson. I mean, he was so
Sean
good
Tucker.
Sean Tucker. Yeah. He was so good last week. They have to work him in. I mean,
yeah, he'll be worked in, but he's a split backfield at this point. I'm not saying he's not, but it means Rachaad White is essentially valueless in some ways. And then Zonovan Knight, there's Bam Knight, I guess they call him. He's only 50% rostered. Benson is still IR, and DeMacari left the game with an ankle injury too. So who do they go against? They go against Jacksonville, who just demolished the Chargers. That was a waste of a pick for me. I thought the Chargers would put up more fantasy points than that. No,
that was bad. I mean, the Chargers looked horrible. Their offensive line is invisible. Might as well just pick people off the street to block. I mean, Herbert, he had no time at all. I mean, it was just horrible. It's hard to watch. Somebody who's an injury away, if this top running back gets hurt, they kind of share the backfield right now as it is. But if this other guy gets hurt, this guy's going to be huge. We have not been tooting his horn the whole season, but I'm going to toot his horn today.
You should.
Tootin of Jacksonville.
Basil Tootin.
What do you think about him?
He's exciting. He's fun to watch. He certainly looks explosive. He can turn the corner and outrun guys. It feels like, ETN has been really solid this year. I think he's a top 10 running back this year. But they've been known to share the backfield there before. I think Tootin's has earned more and more playing time. And certainly if you're an ETN owner, you should own Tootin. But even not, I think he's worth having because he could be a flex play even when ETN is healthy.
The only other running back that I have consideration of picking up, there's two, Algiers and Atlanta, but we've been saying that for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was trying to name new people.
I'm bored of it. But I like this guy. He got a lot of playing time, a lot of handoffs to him. Is Rodriguez of Washington.
I liked Chris Rodriguez more than Bill Krosky-Merritt at the beginning of the season. I just think
I don't think he's that great, Bill. I'm not a huge fan. I think he's a little overrated. Rodriguez is he looks like he's running downhill when he runs. You know what I mean? He runs really hard. I think it's a good pickup this week to pick him up. I mean, even though Washington looks awful right now, I didn't think they'd be this bad, but they're horrible. Another team that's just hard to watch.
Yeah.
Not coached well right now. But I like Rodriguez, Casey. Any other wide running backs you like? Then we'll talk about wide receivers.
No, I mean, if you want, you can take a chance on Jaleel McLaughlin in Denver now that Dobbins is out for the remainder of the regular season.
Right.
And RJ Harvey hasn't proven he can be an every down, carry the load number one back. But no, there's nobody else really I would spend any significant coin on.
Let's talk wide receiver, Casey, because I think like this week is so pivotal for the season for you to make pickups and to get ready for the playoffs. Hopefully your team is in it. It's just you have to pick up receivers that are going to be targets,
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, Emmanuel Wilson, I agree with you. I think he gets a lot of targets. and I think he's the main guy there. I think I mentioned Reed for Green Bay. I think he'll be back soon. Last week we talked about Alec Pierce. I think he's a good pickup for the Colts. Um, I think he's like one of their main receivers, and he gets a lot of big yardage gains during the game. It's not a bad pickup, and I like Christian Watson too. Like I mentioned, he's just not getting the ball enough. He needs to start getting more targets. Casey, who else wide receiver wise do you like that you think I'm missing?
Well, I think if you're a Jamar Chase owner, I think you got to consider Yoshivas, just because Chase has been suspended for the game. And if
do you think
he's
Chase said he didn't spit on him? I think he's lying.
I think he's lying too. But if he loses his appeal or they don't decide it this week, it doesn't matter. Yoshivas becomes the number 2. Joe Burrow might be back this week. They are going up against.
They said he's back this week or next week. He'll be back for the Baltimore game. That's the rumor going around.
This is New England, which is another big game for them.
Yeah, I don't think he's back this
at
week.
home, but I think Yoshivas is worth an ad. And then I think
question. Let's stop.
Okay.
Why would the Bengals bring back Burrow so quick? He's the franchise player, and the Bengals. I'm a Bengal fan. I can say this: they have no chance to make the play. I mean, seriously, with that defense, you really think they can make the playoffs? I mean, no.
But he might want. I mean, it might not be like he might just insist on it. The other guy who you might want to pick up with Drake London being gone for a while is somebody who's been terrible this season, but he becomes the de facto number 1 there in Atlanta. Is Darnell Mooney. Mooney was good last year. He was kind of a sleeper this year, and he's crapped the bed quite a bit. But he's going to be he and Kyle Pitts are going to get all the targets. Well, and Bijan, but there's really nobody else to compete.
I know people talk about Hollins in New England, but somebody that's back in New England and is going to play this week, it hasn't played in a few weeks. I love saying his name because it sounds kind of dirty. Is Booty.
Boutte.
He's back, and he catches a lot of long bombs. What's your thoughts about picking him up?
I love Drake May. So Cincinnati's not a good defense, so that helps. So I think Stephon Diggs has kind of solidified himself as the number 1 target in that pass offense, but Boutte and anybody else can be the number 2. Mac Hollins, and I mean Kyle Williams, Hunter Henry, Travion Henderson has been catching some balls too. So it's a good offense. I'm not a huge Boutte fan this week, but I've been wrong before. I thought Justin Herbert was going to be a stud last week, and look how he did. So
you all did. You're not alone. So I think Boutte is going to do well. He's playing the worst defense. It really is. It's the worst defense in the league. I'm not just making that up. The Bengals are so bad. How bad are they? They're probably the lowest rated defense in the past 5 years, if I have to predict. I mean, they're just horrible. They give so many points up every game, so many yards. And this week they're going against New England. I mean, good luck on that one. Especially how they've been playing, unbelievably. Casey, any other wide receivers we're missing?
Not really, no.
Let's talk really quick tight ends, because tight ends have been getting the ball a lot. It's been really kind of fun to watch, Casey. I like Johnson in New Orleans this week.
Yep, going against Atlanta.
I think he's been really like one of the only fantasy guys. I like Schultz in Houston. They've been getting the ball to somebody. I also like that rookie in Chicago, and so does the quarterback is Loveland.
Colston Loveland, yeah.
He's been really picking it up the past couple of weeks. Any other tight ends that you really like, Casey?
I think if Brenton Strange does come back and play this week, he's been out for a long time, since week 5, I believe. He could. I mean, he was one of the, especially with Brian Thomas out and Travis Hunter out. You know, there's not a lot of pass catching targets left in Jacksonville, and I think Brenton Strange, Trevor Lawrence trusts him and targets him a lot. So if he's back, he's somebody I would want to consider as a streamer.
That's a great one. Yeah, before he got hurt, Casey, he was a top 5 tight end.
He was doing pretty well, and he's a freakish athlete. I mean, I remember him at Penn State, so he was a really good athlete.
No, that's a good pickup. And now let's talk quarterbacks real quick. Maybe I know there's only 2 teams that have bye weeks, right? Who's on bye? There's 2 teams that have byes.
There's 4 teams on bye. Bo
Oh, there's
Nix,
4. Who
Justin.
are they?
There's the Chargers, Denver, Miami, and Washington.
Okay, so that all being said, we talked about Jacoby Brissett. I think is a good pickup this week.
Yep.
Um,
I think Jameis Winston has to be a pickup this week.
I was going to ask you about that
because he's going against Detroit. You know, he can throw 3 picks and 3 touchdowns and still end up with a 20-point fantasy day that way. You know, Bryce Young this week might be a QB worth playing with if you're stuck on buys or injuries. I mean, if you have Nix, Herbert, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Aaron Rodgers, like there's Joe Burrow, Jackson Dart. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks who aren't going to be playing this weekend. So you might be forced, and you can do a lot worse than Bryce Young going against San Francisco.
I read an unbelievable stat. So Stafford, who's actually leading the league as quarterback, and he's 38 years old. In the past 7 games, 24 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean,
yeah, he's insane.
I mean,
and if Galaxy Pickers, if you're still watching, try getting Puka too. If JSN is good, so is Puka. They're both probably upgrades. And Jamar Chase might be the biggest upgrade with the schedule he has, especially if Burrow comes back. But Flacco also. The Cincinnati has one of the easiest wide receiver schedules left for the rest of the season. So don't just limit it to JSN. See if you can get Chase, Puka, or somebody like that also.
Yeah, I mean, Stafford, as I reported on the show before, this is going to be his last year. He's going to announce his retirement after the season. No one knows that, but I give our listeners little facts. I mean, if he can get to the Super Bowl and retire after the game, I mean, how great would that be? What a way to go out.
Yeah.
But Casey, I'm going to save our picks and our discussion for this week coming up for Thursday, because we have a show Thursday at 1:00 Pacific, 4:00 Eastern. Well, we'll talk more fantasy. We'll talk about strategy. We'll talk about what's going on in the NFL. A lot of crazy stuff's going on that I want to talk about. But Casey, anything else you want to talk about today?
No, we have one question left. If you want to answer that real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
It's from our good friend, Christopher Atwater. He wants to know if Shavers carved out a role for himself in Buffalo. Well, what did he have? 4 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown last week. And Coleman missed the game because he was late, however many times.
He was late to practice, and he was a non-roster player that game.
I think he has. I mean, he's proven to be consistent. So I don't know what his role is going to be. I think for deeper leagues, he's certainly worth stashing.
I think you're right. I like Ernie Shavers. I always think about Ernie Shavers when I hear that. No, I think definitely it's worth picking up if you have the room on your roster. I don't trust any Kansas City or any Buffalo wide receiver. So that's me. I have no faith in any of those guys because they just spread the ball around so much. I mean, your boy Allen had a pretty good day last week. He only had 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, I played him in fantasy, so that didn't help.
Okay, Case. Well, that's our show for today. We will see everybody this Thursday, actually. Thanks for watching, and I'm Ross the Boss, and that's Casey Vladimir Scheinfeld. We'll see you guys on